For this early morning's group meditation, let's explore boosting our Jedi powers. Now, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't address the elephant in the room. First, good morning, James. It's always a delight to hang out with you. So here's the deal. Most of us sci-fi geeks have graduated high school, and so we should know that not everything is literal. There are figures of speech, metaphors, similes, and hyperbola, and the like. The Jedi, the wonderful tales of the Jedi and various forms of media are not historical documents. They are works of fiction. Many of them are compelling and empowering. So when I speak of Jedi powers, I'm talking about resourcefulness to be our best selves. And so, just as it would be disastrous for a Jedi to duel a Sith while nodding off, we want to make sure we have good sleep habits, consistent sleep habits, regardless of what day of the week it is. Eat the diet that your species has evolved to thrive on. If you are a human on this planet, the latest peer-reviewed medical literature makes it abundantly clear the most efficient way of sidestepping the 15 leading causes of non-traumatic death, health-oriented death. So, not walking off a cliff, is through consuming a well-planned whole food vegan diet, which does not have to break the bank. You can do it, heaven forfend, shopping exclusively at the 99-cent store. If you're interested in whole food veganism, there are some, I'll just show you real quick right now. Let's see. Let's go over here and I will hit button 8. And hopefully I'll be super clever and hit this button here and hit refresh. And let's make sure that everything's copacetic. Okay, so when we scroll down to the description area below the video, let's make sure that I'm not talking over myself because that would be lame. You'll find a bunch of resources, and under the heading of vegan education, there's a wealth of free stuff, including 2 cooking channels. So use this free stuff. You'll be glad you did. And now, let's continue. Exercise. So personally, I'm differently abled. So around 8-ish, I like to do brisk walking meditation. A favorite way to do that is put earbuds in and listen to a Shastra, a meditation manual, while walking around the neighborhood and saying hi to the neighbor dogs and their pet humans. I also, about 10:30ish, 11ish, I like to wear as little garments as I can, as I legally can get away with, and do geriatric step back squat thrusts while performing the recitation of the concise recitation of bodhicitta and refuge in front of a little Buddha statue. I do not do this superstitiously. I do this athletically. It's fun. It feels great, and it's free. I use one of the I use a Tabata app on my smartphone to help me count, keep track of repetitions, and it's a delight. And of course, the final key to this puzzle is meditation. Now, this is important. I say this all the time. I must really mean it. Active concentration is not mindfulness. Active concentration will excite your underbrain and help you involuntarily access your inner Darth Sidious, which I do not recommend. So what then is mindfulness? Every time we inhale, we access our sympathetic nervous system. We do this involuntarily, which causes us to perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. Therefore, with each inhalation, it's quite appropriate to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this. I just had a terrible thought. Let's make sure that the audio is working. Fabulous. Okay, so what we could notice? We could notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. We could notice emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. What are we to do with these bad boys? We meditate upon them. And how does that work? Whoops. How does that work? During each exhalation, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, which is evolved for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. Therefore, during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite relaxing. So play with this while assuming an impeccable posture. Now, this is important. Really listen up now. You don't get extra points for suffering. Or to paraphrase Dolly Parton, get off the cross, someone needs the wood. So here's what I mean. Progress incrementally. Use the timer on your smartphone. Set it for 5 minutes. Practice this meditation 5 minutes every morning, 5 minutes every evening, approximately once every 12 hours. After about a week of this, you can add an additional 5 minutes to your twice daily practice. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening. Progressing at this rate within 12 weeks. By the end of the 12th week, not only could your body and mind have acclimated to meditation, but your ability to time manage your pets, your children, your partner, your friends will get that you're not going to do something culty and scary. You're just introducing something into your life gently and incrementally, and you'll even find that these people in your life support you. So there you have it. Let's tie this up in a big red bow. This is an excellent way to metaphorically become the Jedi we were born to be. I've given you a bunch of free information, and I look forward to meditating and chanting with you in about 90 seconds. But first, I want to ask a favor. As people, as men and women and entities who are studying wisdom and empathy, I think we can agree that exploitation is the opposite of this. That we can be kind and cooperative or competitive and cruel. I think we all agree that exploitation and colonization is cruel and competitive. And so I beg you to please daily pester your representative and your senator and let them know that you want a free Congo, a free Ukraine, and a free Palestine. We want this done politically and non-violently, but emphatically. And now let's move on to housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. Which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. If you love Star Wars, and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Ahsoka Tano on Lothal, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. Good news. If at any point during this morning's live stream you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, and how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. If you're watching on a laptop or a desktop, that chat window should be in the right-hand corner of the right side of your screen. If you're using a smartphone, your chat window should be down below, right there. Okay, let's get to it. Let's see, let me check the time. It's 1:15. And let's hit button 14. Together as a team, let us chant the morning excerpt of Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones. Written by Zapol Trul Rinpoche, adapted by yours truly. Put your child devotion in the doorway of your practice. Give your son renunciation, mastery over the household of ordinary life. I apologize for the sexism. Wed your daughter compassion to the program of the three worlds, consummating your duty to the living Rasatha Sixarabal Mantra. Okay, that's what happened. Paste. I got a little confused. Whatever appears as delusion and has no truly graspable existence, dread of samsara and desire for nirvana, just thoughts and nothing more. If you could liberate thoughts as they arise, that includes all the stages of the path. Applying the essential instruction for liberating thoughts, recite the six-syllable mantra. The meditation method I showed you this morning during the lesson is exactly what the author was speaking of. Your mind aware and void inseparably is like the mastery of awareness and letting go, known as the Dharmakaya. Leave everything as it is, and fundamental simplicity and clarity will arise by itself. We don't have to force clarity. Only by doing nothing will you do all there is to be done. All the magic of centered spontaneity. Leave everything invulnerably naked for awareness, recite the six-syllable mantra. Let stillness go the momentum of moving thoughts. Within movement see the very nature of stillness. While stillness and movement all one, maintain the naturally spontaneous and uncontrived mind. In the experience of one-pointedness, recite the six-syllable mantra. By examining with awareness vulnerable, passive, visceral, and spontaneous relative truth, establish a physical relaxation and mental release, revealing absolute truth. Within the physical relaxation and mental release, revealing absolute truth. See how the awareness, vulnerable, passive, visceral, and spontaneous of relative truth arises. Where the two truth practices are inseparable from the practices of inhalation and exhalation. True mastery beyond intellect is the state of simplicity. Yes, very, very close. If I was you, I would add a second O to whom, so that viscerally you will get that it's who. The vowel sound is similar to that in the word boot. But yeah, well done you, senor. To you I send a Yoda High 3. In the vivi of our elaboration reseth as acceptable mantra. From appearances cut away the clinging of mind. From mind demolish the layer of factitious appearances. Where mind and appearances all one is infinite emptiness. In the realization of one taste of infinite openness. That is shared by all Risatha's acceptable mantra. Excellent. Oops, wrong button. That was weird. Okay, here we go. Control G, hit enter, and we're back. And so now we turn to my adaptation of the ancient practice text written by Tingtong Gyalpo, known as All-Pervading Benefit of Beings, the Recitation and Meditation of the Great Compassion One, translated from the Tibetan into the French by Boko Rinpoche, and from the French into the English by Christian Boucher, adapted and amplified by this geek before you. Let's begin right now by performing a concise recitation of bodhicitta and refuge to further train in empathy and enthusiasm. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. And I intend to post this for free download on the site. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the three jewels. I like this. I find this one to be very sedating, nice before bed, and this to be very invigorating, very nice first thing in the morning. We're going to contemplate the iconography of an archetype of enlightened compassion. It is the basis for the 8 metaphors that are integral to our mantra meditation. Above myself and all beings of the universe appears a white lotus and moon seed. All them from the subtle Buddhi, from which appears a noble chin raising. His clear and white body emits 5-colored rays. He smiles and looks upon us with compassion. So I feel like that should be a different image, but I guess not at this moment. Of his four hands the inner two all joined. The outer to the right holds a crystal mala, and the left a white lotus. Garments and jewels adorn him, a discount like covers his shoulder. To his back an immaculate moon disk he embodies the essence of all refuges. He sits in the posture, the Buddha of limitless light crowns his head. And now it can be quite fun to knock out 3 bows. If you want to, it's optional. You don't have to. Oh. Here we go. Lord white in color, unstained by faults, a perfect Buddha adorning your crown. You look upon beings with eyes of compassion. Jinri Zigwe bow to you. Lord white in color, unstained by faults, a perfect Buddha adorning your head. You look upon beings With, oopsie, did I forget to do this? You look upon beings with eyes of compassion. Chain racing, we bow to you. Lord, light and color unstained by a perfect Buddha adorning your head. You look upon beings with eyes of compassion. Chain racing, we bow to you. Whew. It is very invigorating. At least it is for me. Let me know if it gets your heart going. After residing without distraction, it is as if the body of the noble Jinrizi emits light. The light dissipates our experiences of jealousies, karmically impure appearances, and pride's erroneous understanding. May the outer world become as safe as a real or imagined pure land of bliss. With each inhalation, may the body, speech, and mind of beings become as healthy, peaceful, and joyful as the body of speech and mind of as the body, speech, and mind of the archetype of enlightened compassion, Lord Chenrezig. With each exhalation, may appearances, sensations, sounds, and cognitions feel as not graspable as if they were one in their empty nature. With whom we invoke love's metaphor of a wish-fulfilling morning jewel, and letting go's metaphor of a purifying Padme lotus. With whom we wish that all beings master this path of love and letting go. So for the first half of the mantra meditations, we're going to practice Tokal's loving leapfrog over our competitive tendencies, which are obstructions to omniscience. May each mind or cheetah be as... May each mind or cheetah be as loving as the mind. May each mind or cheetah be as wise as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha. As we inhale, we silently and mentally recite Buddha wise, or wish Buddha wise for each mind. As we exhale, we relax into the recitation of the mantra. May all relationships, communication, or speech be as loving as a real or imagined Buddha's voice embellished by a full of Mahamantra. May each body or form be as healthy as a real or imagined form, body or rupa of an enlightened archetype or yidam such as kind gaze. Welcome to this morning's practice. If at any point you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, Buddhist chanting, or their application, simply type your question in the chat window. May all circumstances, all lots enjoy the good fortune, all Buddha of a real or imagined Buddha's paradise, pure land of Vati. While meditating upon the meaning of this take two. While meditating upon the meaning of this, recite the mantra as much as you can. Now we're going to, for the final four mantra meditations, we're going to practice Tokal's insightful leapfrog over our clinging tendencies. But first, let us review the meaning of emptiness. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we notice during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite outer sky on a... Like the illusion of the infinite outer sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which although compelling to the eye is not graspable to the hand. How is it that as we inhale we could perceive our mind's functions quite clearly? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable, as a Buddha's real or imagined mind comprised only of light. These are rhetorical questions. The metaphoric magic comes from physically relaxing into the recitation of the mantra. How is it that as we inhale the interpersonal experience of communication could be quite resounding? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, it can feel as non-graspable as a mantra of light. How is it that as we inhale our bodies, our forms could feel quite sensual? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as an octuple yidam, such as kind gaze of light. How is it that as we inhale, all circumstances could appear quite vivid? How is it that as we inhale, all lots of circumstances could appear quite vivid? Yet as we relax into our exhalation, they could feel as non-graspable as a paradise, pure land or vati of light. At the end, without conceptualizing the three spheres of actor, action, and recipient, rest evenly in your own nature. Aha. Un momento. Quick like a bunny. Copy. Okay. Oh, I see what I did. Okay, one moment. Please bear with me. Mm. Paste. Okay. All right. Let's make sure that everything's copacetic. Okay. And now let's meditate in the way we discussed during the lesson. If you just showed up, it's very simple. The key to mindfulness, or we're wired to practice mindfulness during each inhalation. We're not wired for active concentration, but to merely perceive vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. We could notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. We could notice emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. What are we to do with these things? Well, we are to meditate upon them. And how are we to do that? Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access our parasympathetic nervous system, which has evolved for both physical relaxation as well as mental release. So the easiest way to align our intention with our factor-installed instructions is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation and the verb relaxing during each exhalation. I'll check for questions that you might type every 7 to 8 minutes or so. You've just joined this morning's group practice. Welcome. If at any point you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, simply type your question in the chat window. In the interim, as you breathe in, give yourself permission to notice passively, viscerally, randomly, vulnerably. As silently and mentally you recite the demonstrative pronoun this. As you exhale, give yourself permission to physically relax and mentally release. As silently and mentally you recite relaxing. Let us seal our meditation with a chant. May my and others' bodies be as healthy as our body of Jinrazik. May all sounds be as peaceful as the six-syllable melody. And may all mental activity be as wise and free as the domain of great wisdom. By the virtue of this practice, may I quickly master Chenrezik's enlightenment. Then establish in this state the totality of beings. By the merit of this meditation and recitation, may I and those related to me through intention, as soon as we die but miraculously born in Sukhavati, immediately traverse certain bodhisattva bhumis, and through emanations benefit all beings in the 10 directions. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window. You could give this a thumbs up. You could share it with a friend. You could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 2.5 hours, I would very much like to return and lead today's mid-morning lesson and meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.